And welcome to another episode of Let's Smoke About It with your host, Captain Daddy.
Nookie Puff! Had to warm up for that one. Goodness.
He didn't get his preps in. What's up, everybody?
Hello. How are you?
Sorry this is going to come out a week later. Sorry the dog
babe.
came up here and just kind of burped.
Dog came up and burped right in my face. It's okay. He's a good boy.
Yeah, sorry this is going to come out technically 2 weeks late.
After the last episode, yeah.
Yeah, we apologize. Nookie Puss ran into some car problems. That's why he pulled up in this new Honda, rental.
You say new, but it's not new.
Well, this rental for now.
Yeah. It's my dad's vehicle.
But what happened?
I got that support. So do you want like the full story, or do you want?
I want all of it.
Okay.
What happened?
Well, first we took it over a mountain.
Well, no, I'm talking about that led up to
Yeah.
why you're in the Honda right now.
I don't,
because that car's gone through a lot of stuff. Yes.
Oh,
no
it
doubt.
definitely has been through quite a bit.
But what was the final straw that broke the camel's back?
There really, like, nothing actually happened. It just, I was going to my parents' house because we were gonna go get fitted for suits for my older brother's wedding, and as I was driving down the freeway, I noticed I started to lose a little bit of power, and I thought, well, maybe I'm just letting my foot off the gas and I'm not paying attention. But I had my window rolled down, and I heard that the engine was starting to give a little bit more, it was having a bit of a problem. And so I, just kept driving, started revving up a little bit harder, and then I hear this big pop, and then metal on metal. Smoke started coming out of the hood of my car.
Oh shit! Really? Were you on the freeway?
I was on the freeway. I was in the far left on the freeway, and I had I was slowing down, and a couple cars went past me, and I looked in my rear view, and I saw my opportunity, and I took it, and I swerved over to the shoulder.
Hazards lights on. And everything.
Don't have my hazards. Don't work.
Oh yeah. I'm wailing my hands out the window or something.
Yep, pretty much.
Hey, I'm slowing down.
Yeah, and
noticed
I got
the
out.
Smoke.
Yep, got out and opened up the hood, and there's a bunch. I mean, it just smelled like burning oil.
Ooh.
And I was looking all around, couldn't really see anything from the top view. And then I got down underneath the car, and I saw that it was just dumping all the oil out.
Oh, shit,
engine.
really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And had to get it towed, took it to a car place. They said that they couldn't look at it until Monday. So my dad let me borrow his car, but as I was telling the guy what had happened, the dude at the mechanic shop, he said, well, I really hope that this isn't it, but in the past when I've heard stories like this, it's usually their engine block cracks.
Oh.
And he's like, that's going to cost $3,000 or whatever to replace the engine. I'm like, well, I definitely don't have $3,000 to replace the engine in that vehicle.
Pocket change. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Easy. You
Oh,
could just
yeah.
Totally replace that engine.
Oh, yeah.
No problem. Dude, that sucks hard.
Yeah.
Especially going 65 and all of a sudden all power's lost.
Yep. And I'm just had no idea what was going on. All my lights.
Especially no
on.
hazards.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can't tell people that I need space.
It's like
and the shoulder is just bigger than the width of a car too, so it's like, trying to figure out what's going on, and then all the added anxiety of people going 65, 70 miles an hour past you. It's like, ugh, please stop.
Right, everyone's flying.
Just hauling ass.
I'm in a disabled vehicle right now. I don't want to be on the freeway.
I'm in a disabled vehicle. It has no
the driver,
walker.
The driver, me, might be disabled, but right now it's the car.
Right now it's the car. I may be a little retarded, but I can still walk.
And I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
What am I going to Frogger my way across? Play a game of real life Frogger with your bones. You okay over there?
I mean, it's just this mic stand. I just don't know what else to do at this point, so I'm just gonna hold it like this, right up next to me, just ever so cautiously. I was gonna say carelessly, but
carefree.
It's not. Yeah. But it's cautious. I'm being safe.
I mean, one day we'll get a mic stand sponsor.
Yeah, one day. Mic stand sponsor. Please sponsor us for new mic stands, for the love of God.
Like, I don't even care about the mic so much as the mic stand. I feel like...
Yeah, we've all got decent mics.
Well, I feel like the mic means nothing without the good mic stand.
Right. It's like how... Because it's just a constant play on the audio quality. It's like, all right, well, now we got to adjust this. Now that it's gotten a little bit farther away from his face, we got to turn his volume up a little bit. And then if
It's
the
all about
dog
placement of the mic.
starts eating again in the background,
And
luckily he's finished his food, so I don't think we have to worry about that. But
I know he's chomping over there. I just hope
chunking.
that this audio has gotten better over time. I feel like it has.
Oh yeah, well, and especially if you compare it to our like first couple episodes where we were still using the USB mic at that point.
No, we were just using the Scarlat.
The old Scarlat.
Yeah, just the 2x2. They had not a lot of detailed changes like this one that we're using now. Where I can get my highs, mids, and lows.
Yield preamp.
Yeah. Gives me the good...
The highs, the mids, and the lows.
Really lets me get a little crazy with it. Even if I wanted to add an echo with it, so you can...
We can get a little echoey in here.
Is that the echo effect?
No.
Oh.
I messed up.
Oh, it's okay.
I didn't have it on. Go ahead.
The echo effect.
I tried doing my own echo effect on top of it to see if the echo came through a little bit harder. But I don't have the headphones on, so I don't know how well it worked.
Whoa.
Worked.
Domo arigato.
Mr. Roboto, Domo.
Beep, beep, beep.
Domo.
Wait. Alright, enough of that. Turn that
Yield
off.
sticks.
Is that stick? Oh, yes, that is
It is
sticks.
sticks, yep.
It blew my mind.
I used to, I can't remember what it was, but there was a game that was... It was like Guitar Hero, but it was like Neon Racing. And I used to play that song all the time on that game because it was just my favorite.
Guitar Hero Neon Racing?
It was like Guitar Hero and how you would play it. Like in terms of like matching the notes that would come up at you. But you were basically just like a little flying car in like a futuristic railway.
Huh.
And it...
No, I've never heard of that game.
It was crazy. It's either that or that's the video on YouTube that played the majority of the time whenever I listened to it, and it was somebody else doing the neon race. All I remember is that there was a crazy little flying car, and we might have to pull up a thumbnail for that. So we can show everyone.
Don will have to...
The old Don. He can find it.
Pull up a little clip of what Nookie's talking about, because I don't think I've ever seen it. But then again, memory's fleeting. So if I saw an image,
it might trigger it.
Yeah, be like, oh shit, yeah, I've seen that friggin' everywhere. Like,
speaking of Don Chicago, he's not with us.
He's building a computer.
And I'm so sad. He is building a computer for his parents.
For his folks. They're gonna be like going through master PC builds.
We say that, and
it's
like,
not.
Compared to what they used to have, it'll definitely be
it's just gonna be
of that.
Their family rig. But yeah, we're comparing it like that. It's like saying you just threw in a full Ryzen set into your computer coming off of
like an Intel Pentium.
Yeah, that's
what my parents had for the longest time. I think now my parents are rocking like an i3 with like maybe 4 gigs and just like a Garbo like 500 if that hard drive, and it's just full. Like
of family photos and
stuff. Had like bunch of photos, bunch of family videos and whatnot on top of everything else that they do on it, which the other part of it isn't like super
do they have
consuming?
One of those digital photo digital frames?
Yeah.
Nice.
My mom hasn't used it in a long time.
I was saying, is that a way to get some photos off your computer?
You can't. So yeah, the older ones, it was something you'd have to upload to that and just have it cycle through. But now I think there's one through Facebook's portal that they came out with that just has like a wireless connection to your photo drive in your laptop or something that can just, so anytime you upload to that, it can just pull off of it, and you can adjust the slideshow and things like that.
You just
show
meme out
things.
your parents and throw some memes in there.
Yeah. Every once in a while, they just catch a Pepe meme, and they're like, what the fuck is this?
So when you throw that shirtless picture of Burt Reynolds down.
That would only do wonders for them. Because my dad loves Burt Reynolds. And I'm pretty sure my mom loves Burt Reynolds too.
They'll be like, you gotta wait for the picture. There's a gem in here.
You gotta wait through all the other 700 photos to find the shirtless picture of Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, but you set the timer to when that picture comes on. It stays there for about 20 minutes before it changes again.
It's just the shirtless picture of Burt. We have family over. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. Photo shows up like, is that Burt Reynolds? Yeah, that's Burt Reynolds.
Every
go through the conversation a little bit longer. It's still Burt Reynolds.
Every frame is at Burt Reynolds at the same time, so it doesn't matter where you're at in the house. For that 20 minutes, it's Burt Reynolds.
You go back to like the original Longest Yard when he's like getting dressed at the beginning of the movie, and you export like the first, I don't know, like 2 minutes of that, but you just export it frame by frame, and so it's just always a slightly different version of Burt Reynolds without a shirt on.
And it just different poses every time. That would be funny. You can just throw GIFs on those then.
Oh yeah.
Through those.
Yep. GIFs, and you could do like short little movies and things like that.
Your house is
not on the old ones, but on the new ones.
Your house is nothing but a meme. You just have nothing but memes on there.
Just frame all of the frames, and they're just constantly changing, but they're all memes.
Man, I can't take a still photo of a meme, of a GIF.
Right.
So I frame the GIF.
It's the GIF of Kakashi and Mike Guy doing rock, paper, scissors. Their goofy little dances and stuff that they're doing.
What's the fastest way to a woman's heart?
Chidori.
You can hear that through the mic.
1,000 birds.
Sounds
You can't?
like birds chirping. No, I can.
Oh. Just rubbing your arm. No, he's rubbing his pantsuit.
Nope, that's my penis.
That's skin-on-skin contact, ladies and gentlemen. He whipped it out just for you.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
To an extent. You really want to get into this right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm diving in deep. I was thinking about this yesterday.
I've had several conversations on it with other people, so this is going to be fun.
Well, I'm so unprepared by the sounds of it then.
That's why I asked. I'm like, do you really want to get into this? So, to an extent, yeah. I'd like to believe that at some point, pieces of the energy that make up our soul get brought back together with other pieces, and that's why we feel like we've known people for so long, is because it's a partial reincarnation. It's not like
a soul, essentially.
Exactly. It's not like the Buddha or something, like how they get infinitely reincarnated and a new person is taking over but it's too close to true reincarnation,
right
me.
Well, my thing is, I was like, my reincarnation can exist in two ways. Maybe is A, you reincarnate as another human being,
mm-hmm.
or B, you keep being reincarnated through different species, though.
And I've always thought that would be really sweet. Like, if I could,
like, you only get one shot at each species, and your soul or whatever your being gets reincarnated through different species.
I want to be a whale.
Just all hypotheticals, but I don't know.
Yeah,
reincarnations could exist to an extent.
It could. The thing is like, the consciousness that we would have prior would never be able to continue on afterwards. It would just be what made us the individual soul that we are.
I was going to say, our consciousness is what made us unique
exactly.
as an individual. So, yeah, the consciousness definitely wouldn't go over, but like with the deja vus and
mm-hmm.
weird feelings like that
mm-hmm.
would definitely be.
Have you heard the deja vu theory? About how deja vu is just our body, like, technically what it is we're dying and we're reliving our entire lives within that final, like, 5 to 10 seconds or whatever it is when your life flashes before your eyes. And deja vu is the recognition of you've already been here and done this before.
Whoa, am I dying somewhere?
Yeah. We're already on our deathbeds. We just don't know it.
Shit.
No.
Well, see, and I've also heard that deja vu is also your brain trying to make a memory that never existed.
See, now that's more realistic. I've also always liked to think about how it's your, like, in the terms of multiverse theory, it's your two of your separate, like, individualities meeting together,
time.
At one specific time.
Which makes you feel like you've seen it before,
mm-hmm.
but you're potentially just seeing it through their view. So
mm-hmm.
that's why some things are slightly different. like vehicle placement or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that it always hits me in like parking lots. I'm like, whoa.
It definitely doesn't hit me really hard anymore like it used to when I was a kid. Where it's like, wow, everything is exactly the same. Like I've been here, I know what's gonna happen next.
Maybe you changed your course and you were gonna die.
Something, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. But there is definitely, on occasion, I feel like the majority of deja vu that's ever happened to me has been because I've envisioned it in the future, and it's almost like like through a dream.
Okay.
It's almost been like a premonition that you have while dreaming, and you imagine a certain situation going down, whatever it may be, and then once that actually comes to fruition, then your conscious is like, hey, I know what this is, but you can't put a finger on it. It's because your subconscious was the one that pieced it together.
Yeah, because you can't really figure out why you feel this familiarity.
Exactly.
Or what's so like, I have no memory of this place.
I have no memory of this place. But no, again, I couldn't put a finger on any of that that's happened lately. When I was a kid, I was definitely more adamant about it because it happens so frequently.
Yeah.
But now, it's very few and far between, but when it does happen, it's usually pretty substantial.
And like you can almost pinpoint where exactly it's at almost.
Exactly. Or like when it's coming
vivid,
up,
I should say.
Yeah, when you find yourself in a situation that is as familiar as what you may have already had the premonition about, you can determine when that deja vu is going to hit. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, one of the biggest ones that I remember was when I was a kid, I was a young kid, and I had a dream about like walking out of a museum, but like by the way of you leaving, you wouldn't guess that it's a museum.
Mm-hmm.
And so you walk out and there's just like a stone path, and I was looking back at the building and it had this big brown slanted roof, glass doors all across the front, but then I saw Bigfoot along the side, like just standing in the tree line, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then I think it was like a couple years later, my grandparents took me to a museum in the middle of Oregon, and as I turned around, and obviously Bigfoot wasn't there, but everything about it was the same at that point too.
Minus the one thing
that made it so memorable.
Well, if that was for seeing that Bigfoot was there, could have been,
or like he was in that area at any point.
Well, yeah, that just could also be a sign that he was there in that area alone. But here's just you looking into the future, seeing Bigfoot's hiding in those trees.
Yeah. But that's the one that whenever I consider like looking back on deja vu, it takes me a minute, but that's the one that usually comes to mind.
The brain is weird.
Because and it named itself.
Well, studying the brain is just the brain trying to understand itself. But it's just weird that with deja vu, how it's almost you're creating memories and fabrications of it. So it's like, yeah, memory's fleeting, but how many of those memories do you remember are actually true or just fabricated by your brain itself?
Well, and that's the Mandela effect all over again.
And that is creepy as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Berenstein.
Instead of Berenstain.
Yep. It was an A the whole time.
How thousands of people across the world remember Nelson Mandela dying in the prison back in the 80s or whatever it was, but he's been alive.
That one I have no idea. I didn't.
Well, that's where it got its name, is because there was like a study, and there was like a vast majority of people that remember him dying back in jail, as opposed to him staying alive.
Was there any papers about it, about his death?
I don't think so. I think there are people that were claiming that they had little things here and there, but I don't think there was any like concrete evidence about it happening. But it's the same thing with Fruit Loops. It's like, is it spelled like, F-R-O-O-T, or is it spelled like the actual word fruit? A lot of people remember it both ways.
I don't know.
It usually happens with brands, or like the Berenstain versus Berenstain Bears. It's something that people remember from their childhood.
Well, and there's been proof too of books, unless they've been photoshopped.
It's very possible with today's technology.
You can't trust the internet that much.
No.
Fuck, dude. Fuck.
But yeah, reincarnation is definitely an interesting one, because my whole thought process is, at some point we all came from a variation of universal energy, not like Gatorade Mercury or whatever it's called. I know what it's called, but
Or
I like
chemical
making fun of
makeup.
it. Yeah, exactly. And that's why when you meet certain people where it feels like you've known them forever, to me, that's just your essentially what your neighbor would have been in the universal energy cloud. Like,
You just kind of hop to the next person.
well, it's more like so imagine a cloud, and you were to just take like a small like handful of that cloud. That could be like a physical representation of who you are. And if you were to take another piece of that cloud directly from the side of where you took your original cloud, and you put that in a person, and you meet them later on in life, and it feels like you've known each other forever, even though you've only been talking
Oh,
for 5 minutes. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Because you get that spiritual connection, that
exactly.
soul energy,
Yeah,
as they would say. Yeah, no. I didn't think about that.
yeah.
Like I said, I guess I wasn't prepared
I
when
mean,
you...
I don't believe in anything religion has ever brought forth, but
Well, being one with nature has been pretty much the founding of most religions anyway.
oh yeah.
I mean, shit, Christmas is still a pagan holiday,
Mm-hmm.
but Christianity adopted it, making it about Christ. But
Exactly.
it's just...
Even though that level of celebration, the trees, the lights, and uh, obviously gift giving was very different back then, but it was very similar in that aspect as well. And then, of course, once,
But it was for a
you know,
different reason. It wasn't
exactly.
for one thing. It was for the earth giving back and celebrating what bounties, beautiful
And the
harvests and shit.
renewal of the year as it was coming to be.
Exactly. Being one, connected, like the Indians.
You ever heard of the 144,000?
No.
So what the 144,000 is supposed to be all of Earth's original like groups of people, essentially tribes, coming together to save the planet from the direction that we're heading in currently, and attaining universal enlightenment and ascendancy.
Like in modern time right now?
It's the ideas originated in the past, but there's still a ton of people that firmly believe that it's going to happen in the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and save us from whatever chaotic, corporate driven, consumer based ideals that we've encompassed as humanity.
Well, gotta tell the people that they're the ones that can change the future.
Exactly.
You're the future makers.
Yeah. We are the innovators. They are the imitators. I thought
I'm-
that like 2 years ago, but I didn't want to say anything.
I'm just like you, Stan. I put my pants on one leg at a time. Does the
Backflip.
backflips into
The two miniature flying llamas.
by like unicorns holding the back of the pants up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that song was about me. You were talking directly to me.
It's like we're soul neighbors and we're constantly borrowing sugar. How can that be, man? I've never met you.
See, American Dad even hit on it.
Yep. Exactly.
Stan's all about that enlightenment.
But yeah, there's a ton of different things that kind of lead into that. I've never been one to believe anything religion based, because my first introduction to religion was I had a friend that grew up down the street, and she took me to her church one time, and the whole point and purpose was, oh, if you bring a friend to church on Sunday, then we give you a piece of candy.
Okay.
You know, it was kind of like a bribe thing. And
Give
so
some incentive.
yeah, exactly. She made it seem like I was going to get a piece of candy as well. So when I stood up to go get my piece of candy, they're like, no, it's not you. It's the person who brought you. I was like, okay, well, this is bullshit. Then they break up into the Sunday school things, right? And then, so as, you know, like maybe 6 or 7, I go into this room full with a bunch of other kids and a couple of teachers, and they started asking me about my journey through the church. And I was like, well, this is the first time I'm hearing about any of this, so that doesn't make sense. And they immediately flip it onto me, like, my soul burning in hell for the rest of eternity.
You heretic.
And exactly. And just bringing, like, they're like, so you can either suffer in pain for all of eternity, or you can change that right now and go down one of 2 different paths. You can do like what this lady did, one of the teachers there. She's like, it took her 25 years to find the church, soul searching, this, that, and the other thing. Or you can say right now that I accept Jesus Christ into my heart. And I'm like, but I don't mean it. So how is that going to actually
But
provide
I don't
anything?
mean it.
Yeah, like that was the thought process.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I always had doubts about it. And then my parents started making us go to, well, my mom started making us go to church a lot more often. And the whole time, I'm just like, I just don't understand how you're supposed to feel comfort in this.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, if this God that you claim is all loving and all benevolent requires you to dedicate so much of your life to the worship of him, is going to save you from the eternity of hell that your sins have garnished you throughout your life.
Because I see it kind of like this sometimes. They use it as an excuse for how they are.
Just haughty people.
God has a plan. Who am I to question his plan? He's putting me through this now. I feel
And
like
I'm going to act like this because of it.
Well, and then I can just go on Sunday and all is forgiven.
Exactly.
It's like, no,
your
that's...
sins are absolved.
So that's like producing just shitty people.
Exactly.
Because it's like they're not taking full accountability. So that's why it's like, no.
How does this work?
Because like that lady telling you, she's like guilt tripping you at the beginning.
Exactly.
You can burn in hell, or you can...
It's like, I'm a child. What
Exactly.
are you talking about? Like, what have I done in my life that's so bad?
I'm sorry I took the cookies out of the cookie jar.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't even reach the damn cookie jar.
I don't-
Okay, I took an extra cookie.
I don't
My
think I
bad.
need to burn in hell for this.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, just you are in control of your life. There's no one has a master plan. You are the master planner.
You know what's funny? Is that girl that took me to church, my friend, she's a lesbian now. And if you were to go
And
off of all that...
looks down.
Exactly. Church of God looks down on homosexuality. Like, it's just... I think that type of shit is so funny and so backwards when it comes to trying to... Like, to me, the
That's
whole
why
point...
it's almost like a cult.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you
it's like
have
a
to-
worldwide cult that everybody just unanimously, like, can believe in and accept,
You
rather
have to
than the
live
extreme
by
variants
these
of it.
standards.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, you're a terrible person and you should die.
I
Or rot in hell.
kind of understand why people would want their children to go by it in a certain sense of, like, getting a decent moral compass, but that's not required. You can, as a parent, teach your child to have a good moral compass.
Exactly. The moral compass doesn't need religion. You just
Exactly.
gotta be able to tell your kid what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, you yourself cannot be a shitty person
Yeah.
in order to produce equally non-shitty people.
Show them what a shitty person is and tell them not to do those things, and they will figure out
And,
how it is
you
throughout
know,
life.
Get rid of the reward and, punishment system that comes with religion, because that, to me, is just...
Reward. The candy?
Oh, the going to heaven.
Oh.
The candy?
The
Yeah,
candy?
it's basically candy.
If you come
they're
to
just
church, you get
they're
some
just
candy.
dangling lifelong candy. Well,
But are they king-size candy bars?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, they weren't. They were a little kid fun size. Yeah, I know.
Waste of time.
Exactly. I went there for no reason.
Why did you not get any candy?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm taking time out of my
Because
day.
if anything, they could have been like, here's some candy for you. If you want more candy, you got to bring someone in, and you'll get two. Then you can just really incentivize.
And then you have to share.
No.
I know. No kid's going to share
They ain't
candy
gonna
that
share
they're
candy.
given
But
for...
that's why if it was king size, they could have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would have made a fuss, too. I'd have been like, you better break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar if you're going to do this.
Because if not, I'm going to kick you in the teeth. Bring me to this stinking...
Kick you in the teeth.
Bring me to this thing that only gives candy to one person who brings it in.
Yeah.
Brings people in.
It's like this is
When
literally
they
just...
herd you in.
Yeah. It's just gathering members for the cult of the world at a young age. I don't necessarily look down on anybody for having the beliefs that they do.
I don't.
I just will question it to all hell.
So, like, I don't care. So, to clean myself up, I don't care
Oh, yeah.
what religion you practice or whatever.
I really
Just
don't.
as long as you do not push it on me or push it on anyone else about your beliefs. Now, you can tell me about it if we're doing something. Then I'll be like, okay, I respect that.
That makes sense.
Then I won't
I
do it.
understand why you believe that. Yeah.
Well, then I won't do the said thing. Like, I went to a wedding, and there was a Muslim friend of
Oh,
ours,
okay.
and he was asking me what was in all these food and drinks or whatever, because Muslim religion, you can't have
Of
pork
course.
and you can't have alcohol. And I was like weirded out. I'm like, why does it matter what's in them? He's like, oh, I'm Muslim. I'm like, oh, Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're pushing it on me, like
Like
the
if you're trying to,
missionaries.
if you're trying to, oh God.
When you're going door to door and you're trying to push your religion on me. If I want
You
to
have
come
time
to
to talk
it,
about Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior?
if I want to come to you about it, then I'll come to you about it. Then we'll
Believe me, within a square mile, there's always a
talk.
Mormon
There's
temple.
always a church somewhere.
I will find out what I need to know. I don't need you, some 19-year-old kid, coming to me trying to tell me about what I should be believing in.
Exactly, and what's gonna happen to my life if I don't do this? It's like, no, I know what my life's gonna do. I'm gonna close this door. Goodbye.
Well, and I think it's funny. The girl I was dating when you and I first met, she was Mormon, and whenever I would ask her about her religion, she couldn't explain it to me. Or like she gave such a vague answer that gave me such a confused look on my face that she like would just stop talking about it in general as opposed to trying to help me understand like why she believes the way that she does.
It's just
And
apples to oranges.
Bitch, that phrase don't make no sense. Why can't fruit be compared? But no, I had another friend growing up who was raised Mormon as well. And in high school, he was actually excommunicated from the Mormon church.
Oh, damn.
Because of him standing up in the middle of sermons and like trying to convince people that it was all bullshit. Like just extremist stuff, which I thought was hilarious because that's just who I am.
Right.
But she would tell me to go talk to him to have him explain the religion to me because she couldn't. I'm like, you're going to have me go talk to somebody who got kicked out, who no longer believes it, who is actively trying to recruit people away from that belief system, and you want me to go talk to him because he can explain it better than you, and you're still actively practicing?
He could just explain how much bullshit it is.
Exactly,
like,
and that's all it is. I mean,
So-
she tried to explain to me like the different levels of heaven or some shit that they have.
It's like the 9 circles of hell.
Yeah.
You got the 7 levels of heaven.
I mean, I still don't get
I
it,
don't
but
know.
essentially it was like, okay, if you practiced in the religion, everybody essentially goes into the common heaven. But then there were better versions of heaven that you could get to depending on how devout you were and how like family oriented you were and all this
Heaven
stuff.
doesn't have a leveling system.
That's what I'm saying. No, it doesn't.
Get out of here.
I would like to think that if heaven is real, it's about as close to the movie This Is the End. Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
probably about as close as it's going to get. Everybody's just hanging out there. It's just a party all the time. Whatever you want, you think of it like, and it just
pops
appears.
up.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I like the American Dad one where it's just your personal heaven.
That one to me is a nice idea. I think that separating each person without being able to like reconvene would probably be weird.
Well, so I like to think that you could still connect with other people,
I would hope so.
but you would actually have to travel through your own personal heaven.
Yeah.
Or think about that person, and then the door
Well,
would
but-
pop up, and then you can just step
See,
into theirs.
and that was what I was thinking too. I'm like, well, because in Stan's personal heaven, he's just going right back to being with his family. And it's like, but that's your ideal version of them. That doesn't come with all the flaws of what the person is.
No.
But the way you're saying it, where if you essentially reach out and try to communicate with that person and then a door between your heavens were to open up and you could actually talk
Just
and
hang
hang
out, yeah.
that'd be a lot better. Because I don't care what anybody says. I like all my friends with all their flaws.
Well, 'cause
I
I'd like to
don't-
think that definitely married couples in heaven would be able to do that.
Oh yeah,
They'd just be
they
the
would
same
have to.
heaven.
Yeah, as opposed to like
Unless you're in
being
your own
separated for all
yeah.
of eternity.
I fucking hated them, so
Yeah.
I'm getting my own heaven.
Fuck this. Pepper jack cheese. It's my heaven. Like that's the discerning factor. Like, bro, I love pepper jack cheese. What you talking about?
It's like your heaven's nothing but just fields of pepper jack cheese, streams of melted pepper jack
That's all
cheese.
your heaven is just cheese.
I just love cheese so much.
I mean, as long as you were able to alter what you most desired at the time of your desire for it, because
Yeah.
there's no way that it could be all encompassing like right out of the gate, you know.
Well,
I have different things and different like tastes that I've acquired over time. Like
they always say it's your truest desire, though. What you
So then everything that you would consider to be materialistic would be one of those things that would just appear whenever you'd want it.
Exactly, like if you can think of it.
Like,
Like,
oh, I want a burger.
it's like,
It
oh
would
yeah,
just-
I could be. You know what would go great right here? Like a nice pool table. Just
That'd
a
be
pool
sweet.
table right in front of you. But like
That'd be pretty sweet.
the area of how your heaven is set up,
Mhm.
I think would go down.
Would
to
just be
like the
universal
landscape.
desire.
What you think is the like more gorgeous landscape that you can
Well,
think
then
of.
that would be expansive as shit because
then
there
you
are
can just think
different
of your
things.
house and put your house out there.
Yeah. Well, my thing is it would be like you'd have to. It'd be like a world, you know. It'd be like your own personalized world in a way. Because
Pretty
I'd want
much.
beaches, I'd want forests, I'd want mountains, you know.
Your
I'd want
personal
the
heaven
water
would be-
temperature to be 72 at all times, so it's perfect,
The ocean
nice
is
and crisp.
72.
Yeah.
Then you'd probably just be on an island with its like 10 biomes on it.
I mean, I'd be okay with
Like
that.
the size of Russia, probably, as an island.
That would be massive.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
was gonna say because I would want wildlife there.
Want
You
to
best
fit all those
believe.
biomes
Yeah.
in, and you'd have to have that
Have something
size.
the size of Russia.
Yeah.
Be able to go snowboarding down sand dunes.
Well, yeah, because then you can just think of it to get you over there fast, or you know what, I'm gonna drive this over there, or I'm gonna fly this over there.
Well, and so that brings another thing. Considering that those would be materialistic, would that immediately just be granted to you whenever you'd want to travel? Or would you just be like, all right, now I'm rocket fast. Like I have all the superpowers I could ever want, and then just fly over there real
no,
quick.
I don't think they would give you superpowers. I don't think that.
I think in your own personal heaven, like within your
You-
realm,
you wouldn't
that
be
could
able to
probably.
die.
Well, obviously.
So that's the thing is like you have that immortality, but I
Right.
don't think you'd be able to super strength and all that. Now you might have angel wings. I'd give you that, so you could fly.
But see, now that I'm thinking about it, like, why would I want to go to heaven if I couldn't have, like, if I don't have the ability to cut down a tree and carry that whole ass tree back to my camp with just the sheer strength alone, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to have to figure out how to cut the tree up into smaller portions to match my own physical capabilities that I had
Because
when I
then you
was on
can
Earth?
think of that crazy tree cutting thing out in Serbia that grabs a tree, cuts it, and then delimbs it, and then cuts it in half.
Oh, yeah.
You could just like,
But that's the thing is you would have to have knowledge of that.
no, you wouldn't. You're in heaven. You couldn't die. So even if you fucked up, you'd be fine.
Well, not necessarily fucking up, but like you'd have to have an exact idea of what that is.
Well, you'd
in
have to
order to
know
do
at
it.
least the name, I guess. You're like, you know what
That's
would
fair.
go good right now is such and such this machine. So yeah, if you didn't know beforehand,
Yeah, you'd
like,
be in trouble.
I wish I had a chainsaw, and then that's all you can get. So like,
And chainsaw with infinite fuel.
exactly. That's why I think the superpowers wouldn't really be necessary when you can think of anything to make the job easier, and with the fact of no factor of death. You could just learn how to use this heavy equipment if you need to do it.
I'm just gonna learn how to use a backhoe.
Exactly. Nothing bad can really happen to you. Because, I mean, you're already dead. You already maybe you died from a backhoe experience, and that's why you're here.
Never have to worry about food poisoning. That'd be sweet.
Well, and that's the other thing,
You could just
too.
drink to your heart's content, and you never have to worry about.
I bet the food would be, if you could think about it, like,
Would just be ideal to your taste buds at all times.
yeah, like what you craved the most throughout your lifetime or whatever.
Well, but then that would be too limiting.
That would be.
Because
Way
what
too
if the
limiting.
one thing I do crave, we're just going to keep on the topic of going back to the burger. What if I want seafood? That's a far cry from getting a lobster boil
Okay.
like thing.
So then what about you just popping up a bunch of different restaurants at will? Because it'd be materialistic.
I mean, you'd almost have to go that route.
Because you'd be like, you know what, I can go for some Popeyes, and then that building just pops up. Yeah, and you just walk in, grab
But
some,
but
and
that's
it's
the
always
thing. Is
fresh,
like,
hot Popeyes.
why would I want to deal with other people though? When I could just, I want Popeyes, bucket 8-piece in the hand,
Well, I'd like to imagine it's just a building with Popeyes hot and fresh, right, all ready for
just
you
like
already.
buffet style.
Yeah, you just make your own.
See, now that would be actually a complete 180 to
Like
what we're
KFC
talking
buffet.
about. Just a singular restaurant that has all of your favorite foods at any given time. And you're walking. Let's say you're walking by the dessert area, and you're like, "Oh, damn, they don't have fucking strawberry streusel."
You look to your left.
Yeah, it's just right there, just on a nice little steaming plate. It's like, oh, damn, what'll go great with this? Some chocolate pudding and just a little vat of pudding. Just,
That's like when
be
Stan
sweet.
goes to heaven. we like to think that everyone takes the news of their death better with ice cream. So we have any flavor you could think of.
Vanilla?
Oh, we're out of vanilla.
Aww. But
Just
you're still
kidding.
dead, though.
But just kidding. We like to tell people that their favorite flavor is gone. But then they tell them we have it. We'll just scoop it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
But
we really are out of vanilla.
We really are out of vanilla. That pissed me off so much.
Still dead, though.
Still good, though. It brings us to another topic. What would your ideal, materialistically, just envisioning and it pops right up, what would your ideal meal be?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because that changes so much based off of your craving. And maybe, like, if you had something with beef the night before, you may not be craving beef the following day. You know,
well,
just
I
trying to
definitely
keep
go
that.
for, like... Now, you'd probably get to be able to think of any style that you wanted in, just as long as you know the food.
Exactly.
So I would definitely like a 5-star level steak, like a tri-tip, cooked.
Like a Wagyu beef.
Yeah, from a 5-star restaurant, so you know it's prime. And then I would love some authentic, like, Italian pasta made straight out of a fucking...
Ye old grandmas in the back putting it together.
They made those noodles by hand, rolled that ziti and shit.
Hell yeah.
And then probably some wine from France. But that one probably wouldn't happen because I wouldn't be able to think of any name.
Yeah,
You'd have to think of a name.
Yeah, you'd have to know what it is. I'd like to think that in that same circumstance of, since we're still going off of like the heaven materializing thing, that with all like the cooking videos and stuff that you may have seen throughout your life, you'd be able to recollect that information and you'd be like, I want to try it that way now. And it would just...
Oh, dude, that would be sweet.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because then you could just, like... Because you go in your kitchen and you just think of the ingredients, any ingredients you want. You're like, well, I've never been to Asia, so I've never really made anything with... Shit, now I can't think of any food and fart.
I was going to say, I've definitely done my fair share of Asian...
So you just think of a bunch of
Never done a
ingredients with
wonton.
wontons and other stuff, and you're like, I'm going to try it and try to make a
Dude.
dish.
No, I'm dying for like a Chinese buffet, honestly. That sounds so bomb.
Chinese buffets are hit and miss for me.
It definitely depends on who it is, but like to me, when I crave Asian food, it's usually like the entirety of what Asian culture has to offer. So like going to something like a Chinese buffet or like a Japanese buffet is like prime for me because I want to try the barbecued beef as well as the barbecued chicken, but be able to throw General Tso's chicken in there with the wontons,
get it all at once.
Different egg rolls and spring rolls, crab legs, the seasoned rice, like get some chow mein, like anything that you can think of, just all right there.
I haven't been to a Chinese restaurant in forever. I think it's been a really long time since I've been to a Chinese, but since of vid, I don't want to go to a Chinese restaurant. I'm just kidding. It's not that.
It has nothing to do with the Asians by any stretch.
That was a bad joke.
It was a bad joke, but that's what we do here at Make Strong Entertainment.
We make bad jokes here.
We make terrible jokes.
I'm gonna take a quick vop.
And you gotta laugh along with us.
About Chinese?
Not necessarily about Chinese
food.
So when I think of my ideal like meal, it really depends on which one it is. So if I'm going for breakfast,
Chinese
my
breakfast?
idea, we're not talking about Chinese food anymore. We're just talking about general.
Oh, okay.
Because I asked you the question about what would your ideal meal be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
For me, it depends on what the meal is. So if it's like breakfast, I would probably go with sourdough waffle.
Ooh.
As a bit, and keep in mind, I'm about to build a sandwich. So a sourdough waffle as your buns. Yeah. A piece of fried chicken, of thigh meat, but it would be composed as a breast.
Huh. Okay.
So that way you don't have to worry about bones. And
that makes sense.
It's almost like if you were to do like a chicken fried steak. You get a bunch of that meat, you get a decent combining agent.
Yeah.
Pound it all out and chicken fry it, but it's just, the dark meat. Because I love me some dark meat chicken. Crack a couple eggs on top of that. Then you'd throw Swiss over those. I'm actually going to retract that statement. I'd probably go with pepper jack over those.
First
eggs.
off, how big are their waffles? How big are your waffle buns?
So the waffle, like imagine you go to a restaurant and you order like a Belgian waffle.
I was gonna say,
and
are
it's
they-
like the size of like a plate almost.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking of. Because
Yeah.
I always get a Belgian
Oh, yeah.
waffle. They're so good.
So that way, when you put your, your piece of fried chicken on there, it's not like hanging over the edges. Oh, it's much bigger than that.
So it's almost like you have 2 slabs of chicken breast in there to fill up the bun.
Exactly. So it'd be the chicken, throw eggs on there, bacon, sausage, hash brown, like patties, gravy, sausage gravy like you would get for like a biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. That good
Put a
gravy.
bun on top of that, or not a bun, or you know what? No, screw that. You put a brioche bun on top of that, and you have the sourdough waffle as your base for the bun. And then
That or croissant.
I would have to go with brioche.
Brioche.
It couldn't be covered in like a honey butter though, because that would completely throw the savory off. And I understand that you'd want
That sweet
something
and savory.
Yeah, you'd want something to counteract the savory, but for a meal like that, I would want to go savory all the way. And then on the side, do like a pecan caramel, like French toast or something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Or like an eggs Benedict slapped on
yeah.
the side.
Oh yeah,
See, I would really like to.
nice poached egg.
I think my ideal breakfast would be a full English breakfast. I would love to try a full.
I would love to try it. I don't know if that would be ideal for me, just because I don't know the sauce that their beans are in. And if it was like a traditional like baked bean that you'd eat with like burgers or something, I don't
Yeah.
know how well that would work with everything else.
I don't
and
think
then
it would be,
the
though.
black pudding is something that I would be curious to try. I don't know if I could handle it. It depends on what
If
it is.
it's black licorice, I'm throwing it
I
all
don't.
away.
I don't think the whole meal.
Yeah,
The
everything's
bucket.
gone. This dessert
But no,
sucks.
hash brown, sausage, eggs, ham.
Those fat sausage links
Oh, yeah,
too.
the
It's not like
massive
the
ones.
little Jimmy Deans.
Nope.
It's the fat
The
Johnny
Jimmy
Deans.
Deans.
Jonathan Deans comes out with his sausage links. Well, and then like the biscuits. Then you got the pancakes. You got the chips. Well, no, you don't have the chips.
Dude, I'm so hungry now. Sitting here talking about food, I'm like, damn.
Well, I got some weird cheese things I'm gonna make later. Slap 'em
Weird
in the
cheese
oven.
things.
I don't know what they are. I have to look in the freezer again.
But no, I mean, it would depend on what the meal is. And I think that that's why the idea of having like the ability to materialistically create whatever you'd want in your own personal heaven, like they do in American Dad, would be prime.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I always thought too for the ingredients. So like if you were a cook or whatever in your life, and you're like, I just need these ingredients and I can make this bomb ass.
Well, and that would be the other thing. I would have no problem learning, because you have eternity.
Exactly.
There's no time limit. You could figure out how to make this stuff the way it needs to be done. It'd either have to be like an intuition on your part, almost like a spidey sense. That'd be like, okay, like the steak's done on this side. Now I need to flip it over to this.
Yeah.
But then there's also got to be like an information source, almost like how we have the internet. You'd have to have a way to find out new ways of making the things. Like if you're trying to do like lobster for the first time,
I would say
you'd want to.
you could go to the Heavens Library or whatever.
Oh, they got a library.
Yeah, that's
Just
like
all the information on the world.
exactly. It's like the internet, but you actually have to physically walk through it.
You have to
and
go.
There's books on everything, so it's alphabetized.
Well, but then at that point, why couldn't you just materialize your own library with the infinity of human knowledge in there as well, in your own personal heaven?
I mean, you could if you really wanted to, or you could just do
Your heaven is literally just the beginning of the Matrix, where as soon as you think about what you want, it just starts coming at you at lightning speed, and then you have to
Well, see,
pick everything.
That, or I was thinking like, yeah, you can make your own personal library, but of just things that you want to know about.
Yeah, just personal
So
interest.
it's like, I need to know everything about this trade, and like every book of that trade pops up in your stuff.
Well, that's the thing, is eventually you're gonna get through all of that information.
Yeah, but
so
you
why
have a
wouldn't?
long time.
Yeah, you do have a long time, but then why wouldn't you want the entirety? Because one of my incredibly like backlogged like interests is like geology, and like paleontology especially.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not
people's-
something I would ever look forward to within my first 1,000 years in heaven or whatever. But eventually I would want to learn that. So why, and the different regions that could cover on our planet Earth.
Well, because then you could go to those regions as well in the heaven and actually
you just imagine Russia. You're just excavating in the cold.
Yeah, because you're reading through this, and then like maybe you can what you're reading through. Replay that scenario, put yourself in it.
So then, what if that's how heaven is? Then you're just in a you just go through a library, and then as soon as you're like looking at something and you have a deep desire to go do that, then you're transported to whatever it is that would give you the best outcome.
Is that Reading Rainbow?
Is that Reading Rainbow?
Where they jump into the books, into the stories of the books.
Grab a book. Let's have a look. Reading Rainbow.
It's in a book. It's reading. I don't know.
I don't know if those are the words, but if that's true, heaven is Reading Rainbow.
I know Dragon Tales was like that. They held onto a stone.
Well, that would transport them to the world of dragons.
Yeah, but that's the same concept.
It's the same concept.
You have to say a chant, hold the stone, and jump into the world. And same with Blue's Clues. I can't remember the song, but when they jump into the book to figure out the clues.
Wasn't his notepad, was it?
No, it wasn't his notepad. Sometimes it would go in his notepad if he drew it, but other times it would be pictures or books. They would jump into the world, trying to find the clues. Blue.
I don't remember that.
He would always do a little dance. Don, can you pull something up like that? Maybe
yeah,
sure I'm not crazy.
I was going to say, hopefully something like that exists, and we're not just trying to recreate memories like we tend to do when it comes to Mandela effects.
The Nielsen Mandula's effect.
The doulas of Nielsen's.
The doulas oblongatas.
Medulla oblongata! Mama says gators are cranky because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Well, Mama's wrong.
Well, guess what? Mama's wrong again.
No, Colonel Sanders. Did you see their 25th anniversary
of Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, did you see Adam Sandler and Shooter McGavin do that video?
So I saw, obviously at the beginning part of the day, Adam Sandler did his, and that is smashed. I'm not lying to you guys. I smashed that. And then I think it was like closer to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. The guy who plays Shooter McGavin did
the video
game as well. Yeah. It's like,
how's your short game, Happy?
Everybody knows that you drive for show and you putt for dough. And he just puts the camera down, knocks that ball right into the cup, and he's like, still got it. Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. Shoot out. See you on the green, Happy.
So it's funny because actually a couple days ago I saw that Adam Sandler has greenlit the idea of a sequel for Happy Gilmore.
It would be cool to do what they're doing in real life to be the second movie, where, hey, we're bringing back all these old great golfers from past championship to do another round, because then it would make sense for them to be old, but them coming back.
Exactly.
Because then it'd be like, it's just a reunion tour that the golf is putting on.
Exactly. Then you'd have a storyline behind it. Then you wouldn't have to try to think of something else.
Exactly, because you can just have Shooter come in as he wants to get back at Happy because Happy won the championship.
Exactly. So but Happy, left after doing that championship, and then they're like, oh, well, now we have to go up against...
Shooter never got a chance to beat him.
Exactly.
So this would be a perfect revenge story for Shooter McGavin.
Well, and then you could bring in, like... I'm trying to think of some of the older golfers that are still alive. Yeah, Bob Barker's dead. But I'm pretty sure, like, some of the... Like, I mean, you didn't even
Arnold Palmer.
I don't know if he's alive.
He's dead.
I was going to say Jack Nicklaus, but I think he's dead too. Or Nicholson.
We could bring in Tiger Woods after he recovers from his car accident.
That dude deserved it. Whoa. I don't know. Okay, that's a large statement.
Whoa.
Whoa! He left the hotel pissed off about something.
Oh.
And he like sped out of there. So like
driving.
Yeah, he was driving reckless. So I have no remorse for that. If you're being an idiot behind the wheel and dumb shit happens to you, sorry man, you deserve that.
I just saw the headline that he crashed. I'm like, boom, that sucks.
Yeah. I looked into it, and apparently what was happening is he was staying at a hotel where there was a bunch of other like celebrities. And so I think it was the day before, he was like playing rounds of golf with a bunch of celebrities and everything. Like Dwayne Wade was there. I can't remember who else, but the director for the Little
Rascals?
No, yeah, the Little Rascals director. No, for the documentary. That's the word I was looking for. Why the hell couldn't I think of that? Was coming over, and he was showing up at around 7 o'clock. And it's one of those, private clubs where they've got like a 2-lane road that leads off the main road, and then you get up to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods went flying by him, like leaving as the director was coming in.
Oh shit.
And hotel staff was talking about how he looked incredibly like agitated and was like ready to
flustered or
yeah,
shit.
exactly. And so I don't know what happened, but I know that you play stupid games, you win dumb prizes.
Well, yeah, especially with those clubhouse roads are only barely big enough for 2 cars to go through.
Exactly. There was a ton of talk about how that electric vehicle, I think it was from Infinity or something, that he was driving was probably the only reason he didn't actually die because of how advanced the protection system is in there.
Well, didn't it roll a whole football field?
It rolled quite a ways.
Like from the time he hit the whatever and then rolled to a stop, it was a football field length.
Explains why he's got multiple leg fractures.
That sucks.
Yep.
He ain't ever golfing.
Well, actually, I think it was last year he just got done with his 5th major back surgery because he had so much power in his swing. Like when he was younger, it destroyed his back. And so for a long time, obviously the whole like cheating scandal thing happened. But he like had to have so many surgeries on his back just to make it so that he could play golf again because he couldn't do what he used to be able to do.
Well, I didn't think golf was really that much strain on your body, but I guess not.
Well, so that's why a lot of people will teach it as you don't have to like power through it. It's like, yeah, if you want, like if you get your swing down and you can add power to that, that's one thing, but technique will always outweigh power when it comes to golf.
Yeah.
And so whenever you get taught, it's always taught purely technique. And then you get those young guns that go out there and it's just like, well, I know how to swing a golf club. And then they just grip it and rip it. It's like, yeah, you can drive 320 yards, but you can only do that for 10 years. Yeah.
Well, and it's just like Happy. Mm-hmm. You got to do it like Happy, and then your back won't give out because he comes in like a hockey swing.
I was so happy that he redid that and he still showed that he could do it.
Oh, I can't wait if they do another movie.
Oh, that'd be so great.
I know at least it would be good, but sequels of classic movies are always hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like it will be one of those types of movies like Adam Sandler's been doing lately where throughout the year he'll just put out really ridiculous movies that he doesn't expect to do well at all. And then he'll do a movie like Uncut Gems where he actually tries because I'm pretty sure he wants his Oscar. So I think that if they do a sequel, it'll be like one of those really goofy movies. Like, have you ever seen Ridiculous 6?
Does he not have an Oscar at all?
I don't think so.
I want to say he's got an Oscar in comedy.
Let's find it out.
Well, not comedy, but like a comedic film. Do they break Oscars down in genres? Or do they do it just in roles? The Oscar for Best Supporting Actress or Actor is The Bear.
After losing out on an Oscar nomination, Sandler was named Best Male Lead for his critically acclaimed performance as a devious jeweler in Uncut Gems. During the ceremony, he cunningly made fun of his omission from Sunday's Oscars by delivering a crowd-pleasing speech full of zingers aimed at his competitors. So yeah, that was the only one that he... How many?
Oh, damn. I didn't realize that.
Let's see.
I did not
know
that.
He has been nominated for 120 different awards, winning 46, but none of them are Oscars.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yep.
Been snubbed out.
Being an actor, that's one of the most prestigious ones that you can get, so it makes sense as to why he tried so hard for that. But yeah, that's what he's doing. He just puts out a lot of like really ridiculous movies, like with his production company, Happy Madison, and then eventually he'll get with like a serious project and really go for his role in an Oscar. It's like when he did The Cobbler, I think.
Go for broke.
Yep. You ever see The Cobbler?
Nope.
He's a shoemaker. And his dad teaches him how to use like an old school shoe like fixing thing.
Okay.
And he's like noticeably Jewish in the movie. And
I don't know why.
His like newer machine breaks, and so in order to fix some of the shoes that people have brought him, he has to go down to the basement and use that old thing,
the old spindle and shit.
Yeah. And so then he finds out that once he puts those shoes on, after he fixes them with that old one, he turns into the person.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
Yeah. Super goofy movie, but at the end, or it's not super goofy, like
It's not the super goofy movie?
No, it brings forth like some cool ideas, but then at the very end when you find out like what that whole thing was for. It was basically his father used to use it, and his grandfather used to use it to spy on Nazi Germany.
Oh, that makes sense because you could be that officer or whatever
Yep.
with the shoes. Well, hot damn. That's wild as hell.
Pretty interesting.
I think that's a good Adam Sandler story to end on for today's episode.
Can never go wrong with an Adam Sandler story. Hope you enjoyed us talking about reincarnation and American
Sadlers.
Dad's variation of heaven and how we would use that to our benefits.
Everyone gets their own personal heaven. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
That, or do you think that we come back as a different species?
Let us know down in the comments.
I like to think so.
I would like to think so too. Seriously, I want to be a whale.
You get a different shot. But you don't have your consciousness. You just
Exist instinctually as that creature.
exactly.
I mean, obviously, I'd want to be a bear because bears are sweet.
Brother Bear.
Brother Bear, I let you down.
Okay, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next
Trusted
week.
me, believed in me, and I let you down.
Bye.
Bye.
Of all the things I hid from you,